Music Camp International is a children's charity that works in Romania and Ukraine. My name is Connie Fortunato, founder and president. In the last 11 years, we have conducted over 70 music camps with over 15,000 children from every sector of society: the poor, the orphans, children with special needs, and children from traditional families. Our goal is to give children dignity, hope, and self-confidence through the gift of music. 2 years ago, we had a music camp in Bucharest with over 400 children. At the end of the week, their performance was part of the Ionescu Festival, Romania's largest and most prestigious music festival. But the stage was too small. Children had to stand in back corners and on the pavement with the audience. This September, we will again conduct a music camp in Bucharest. Over 350 children are already registered. We want this city to celebrate its children, and we want the children to sing with power and dignity. We need to raise $10,000 to sponsor teachers, and we need to buy food and water for the children so they can attend classes and rehearsals without being hungry. We need to pay for the orchestra, and we need to build risers so the children can be seen. The video you are about to see tells the story of Music Camp International and its amazing journey from one small camp to 9 camps throughout Romania and Ukraine. Help us transform the lives of these children by providing for them the experience of Music Camp International and the thrill of their closing concert. In June 2012, Music Camp International celebrated its 10th anniversary. 10 years of raising children up and giving hope and dignity through the healing gift of music. 10 years of sowing seeds of love and peace and understanding and compassion to some of Eastern Europe's most needy children. On October 3rd, 2011, 45 children from the small town of Bucha, Ukraine, performed at the Council of Europe in Strasbourg, France, to sing on behalf of children's needs, not only throughout Europe, but around the world. With just over 2 weeks of training, these children who had never sung or played instruments before were singing to the most powerful dignitaries in all of Europe, reminding them to not forget their responsibility to care for the poor, lift the fallen, and provide for those who cannot see and are too sick to speak. But the seeds of Music Camp International were not born on the grand staircase of the Council of Europe, nor in the magnificent opera theater in Odessa, nor the grand cathedrals or concert halls throughout Romania. The seeds of Music Camp International were born in a crumbling and abandoned orphanage with the rusting remnants of the cages that had held children after the fall of the brutal Ceausescu regime. The seeds were born in hospital wards where children were left alone in cribs for years at a time because they had been abandoned at birth. They were born when I met Monica and Lavinia at an orphanage in Oradea, Romania. Monica had lived in a cage and had only ever used her voice to make animal sounds. Lavinia had been abandoned in a hospital where she lived for 5 years, tied to a crib and injected with a sedative because there was no one to care for her. I met Stefan in Timișoara the morning after he arrived at the train station because his father had sent him away because they had no more money. For these children, there was no song. There was no music. There was no hope. Their pain pierced my heart and captured everything in me that wanted to give them hope and love and life. And so in June 2002, Music Camp International was born. Born to bring dignity to the abandoned and those that had been cast aside. Born to restore the song. The message has been powerful, penetrating the massive walls of politics and prejudice with the transforming meaning of music. The journey has taken us from remote state orphanages, strategically placed far outside the city limits to avoid intersecting with society's social conscience, to the most beautiful opera theater in all of Europe, the largest international children's center in the world, the largest cathedral in Romania. And everywhere the children sing, people are stunned with what they hear, not just the beautiful, clear sounds of their voices, but the power of their message. They sing the great masterworks, Bach's Magnificat, Haydn's Creation, and Handel's Messiah. They sing their national music, Bože Ukrajina's Beregi, God be merciful and save Ukraine, and Kuntek de Pacha, let there be peace on earth. What began 10 years ago as one camp in a remote village with a few small recorders and sock puppets has become an international force sweeping across social, economic, and religious barriers, blending the voices of the less fortunate and the most fortunate in one song. Through the generosity of our donors, we have purchased instruments. And what began as a simple melodic line has become a symphony of children performing with the philharmonic orchestras of their cities and regions to make beautiful music together. And it is changing them. In 2009, we expanded our music camps to work with the blind and visually impaired. With the collaboration of the First Lady of Ukraine, we were able to gain access to these institutions in Kiev, Ukraine. For the first time, children that had been tossed to the sidelines of society were on national television. In 2011, we expanded into Romania, and now the journey continues, returning to Cluj-Napoca, Romania, and adding the city of Târgu Frumos. Music changes lives, and together we can transform communities and countries and continents. Our commitment remains firm. Our opportunities are more than we can fill. The message of this year's concerts is captured best in the lyrics of its closing song, written by Matthew Ivanko. Before I lay me down to rest, I ask the Lord one small request. I know I have all I could need, but this prayer is not for me. Too many people on this day don't have a peaceful place to stay. Let all fighting cease, that your children may see peace. Wipe their tears of sorrow away. Help us do your will, O Father, in the name of all that's true, and we'll see in one another the loving image of you.